Hey there, and welcome back to the BoardGame Sherpa channel, the channel whose goal is to take the fear out of learning new board games and put the fun back in. If you're a regular to my channel, you already know that GenCon 2023 is coming up on August 3rd to 6th in Indianapolis and is one of, if not the biggest, board gaming event of the year, certainly in the United States. This year will be my 5th time driving up to Indianapolis, and if you're thinking of coming, especially if you're a first timer, watch my 25 essential tips for first time attendees of GenCon 2023 video. It'll give you a good primer on what to expect. I'll put the link in the description. Now that it's getting closer to Gen Con, it's time to start checking out what games are coming, what's hot, and where your first stops of the show should be. Make sure you get there before the games you want sell out. Let's cue the title and begin. As mentioned in my 25 Essential Tips videos, if you're going for the hottest games, you really got to get to those vendors early, because those games sell out quickly. Seriously, watch that video. It'll help show you why you need to go into Gen Con with a plan. The deck is stacked against you on the super hot games, so do your homework and be prepared before you run to that vendor on opening bell. So in this video, I deep dive the boardgamegeek.com website to find out just what the hottest games will be. It's an awesome website that every gamer should know about and has info on almost every board game in existence and everything that's coming out. In my research, I only chose standalone games, not expansions. And I only chose those that will be coming out at Gen Con 2023 or a month or two before or after. Oh yeah, all release dates are tentative because, let's face it, how many games actually deliver on the release date that was scheduled months in advance? Maybe if they say a game is coming out next week, I'll believe them. Maybe. But I'm still waiting for a game I bought at Gen Con 2022 that was supposed to come out shortly after. All right, let's get to the first of the BoardGame Sherpa's Hot Games for Gen Con 2023. Okay, sorry. I got a little excited there. I also made this list for me, as well as you guys. And I apologize to any designers whose name I butchered throughout this video. Number 1, Race to the Raft. Race to the Raft is a game by Frank West for City of Games. It came out July 6th, and I got to check this one out before Gen Con, so I limit how many games I actually am carrying at the show. According to the publisher, Race to the Raft is a cooperative, path-building, tile placement, social puzzle board game for 1 to 4 players. In the game, you play the role of disoriented island cats who are lost on a smoke-filled island. Nothing seems to be where it once was, and you must find a safe route to the raft by placing pathway cards. As you build pathways, fire, which is represented by different shaped tiles, will spread across the island, limiting your options. You need to find a balance between creating long pathways and keeping the cats ahead of the flames as you move towards the raft. Number 2, Ring Circus. Ring Circus is a game created by Remo Conzadori and Fabio Lopiano for Devir Games. It tentatively comes out on August 18th. According to the publisher, the circus has come to town. Under the tent, jugglers, clowns, magicians, strongmen, and beasts capture the curiosity of a dedicated audience that applauds non-stop. After each performance, your little troupe accumulates fame and may one day pique the interest of P.T. Barnum, the greatest circus mogul of all time. In Ring Circus, players take on the role of a circus director who tours the United States at the end of the 19th century. Your objective is to hire artists and offer performances in various towns and cities with the intention of gaining fame. In towns, features are easy to set up and give you starting resources to upgrade your cast. Small cities are somewhat more demanding, but they allow you to come into contact with better artists. An audience in the big city are even more demanding and want to see very specific numbers, but performing there brings you so much more fame. While your circus tries to survive, the great and splendid Barnum Circus travels across the country, and when it arrives in a big city, a score is held in that region, and the circuses that have given the most performances there will gain even more fame. Number 3, Last Light. Last Light is a game I've been looking forward to for a while, and can't wait to demo it. It's created by the Dice Tower's own Roy Kennedy for Grey Fox Game and comes out tentatively in the 3rd quarter of 2023. Roy's favorite game lists on the Dice Tower channel are usually in line with my favorite games, so I'm hoping that translates to a game I'm going to love. According to BoardGameGeek.com, Last Light is a fast-paced 4X game with 3D planets and a rotating board in which players playing a symmetrical alien faction simultaneously gather light right before the heat death of the universe. Each turn, players select an action card. Then, all players take their actions simultaneously, exploring planets, mining from resources, gaining new technology, and commanding fleets, all the while racing to the center of a rotating board to the last known white dwarf star to gather light for the civilization to survive. The first player to gather 20 light has what they need to overcome their rivals and lay claim to the last light in the universe and win. Number 4, Point City. Point City is a game from designers Molly Johnson, Robert Melvin, and Sean Stankovich for Flat Out Games and AEG. It tentatively comes out in September 2023. It is touted as, from the team that brought you the smash hit Point Salad. Point City is a card drafting, engine building game with more than 150 unique building cards, giving you the opportunity to create a completely different city each time you play. The rules are simple. Take 2 adjacent cards from the dynamic city grid and add them to your expanding city. Use your resource cards and bonuses to construct building cards that require specific combinations. Build special civic structures to multiply your city's points and be the top urban planner. Point City takes the same simple concept of drafting cards and building the best combinations, then adds new layers of resource management and engine building to the mix, making the game easy to learn but challenging for everyone. Number 5, Barcelona. Barcelona is a game by Danny Garcia for Board and Dice Games that is tentatively scheduled for third quarter 2023. According to the publisher, it's the mid-19th century. The city of Barcelona is the most densely populated city in all Europe. Shortly after the old city walls were finally destroyed, Idefin Cardet, who is now considered the inventor of urbanism, presented the plan for the creation of the Ejample, the expansion, not that type of expansion, that Barcelona so desperately needed. Its construction began in 1860. In Barcelona, you will take on the role of builders in 19th century Barcelona who are working on the new expansion to the city. Your main goal is to construct buildings to accommodate the citizens who want to leave the old city. And in the process, you will also build streets, create tram lines, and build public services. You may even decide to explore modernisme, a new architectural and art style that has been gaining popularity among the rich. Barcelona is played over a variable number of rounds, interrupted by 3 scoring phases before a final scoring phase. Every round, each player takes a single turn consisting of 2 or more actions, a building phase, and then preparation for the next turn. At the end of the game, the player with the most points wins. Number 6, Age of Innovation. Age of Innovation is a game by Helge Ostertag of Capstone Games that tentatively comes out August 2023. According to the publisher, Age of Innovation is a standalone game set in the world of Terra Mystica. 12 factions, each with unique characteristics, populate the world of varying terrains. Here you will compete to erect buildings and merge them into cities. Each game allows you to create new combinations of factions, homelands, and abilities so that each game isn't the same as another. You control one of these factions and will terraform the game's map terrain to your homelands, where you can erect your buildings. Proximity to other factions may limit your expansion, but it also gains you significant advantages in the game. This tension adds to the appeal of the Terra Mystica series. Number 7, Sail. Sail is a game by designers Akiyama Koryo and Korzu Yusei for All Play Games. Again, sorry for butchering your names. And it tentatively comes out in August 23. I hope it's for sale at GenCon, since this is one of the games I plan to grab while I'm there. According to the publisher, strap up your pirate boots and navigate your ship through turbulent waters in Sail, a cooperative trick-taking game for 2 players. Reach the end of this dangerous deep end and avoid taking damage from the Kraken to win the game together, or your crew will be sleeping with the fishies. Players win the game as a team if they sail their ship into the final token before the Kraken reaches the death tile, or the Kraken deck is exhausted. Number 8, The Fox Experiment. The Fox Experiment is a game from Wingspan designer Elizabeth Hargrave and Jeff Fraser for Pandasaurus Games. This tentatively goes on sale in September 2023, but I kickstarted it after seeing it at last year's GenCon 2022, so I'm hoping to have it in my grubby little hands much sooner. I can't wait to get it to do an unboxing video and review for it on this channel, so subscribe if you want to be notified about it. But if I don't have it for GenCon, I'll at least be able to play the demo and learn how to play it, maybe even from Ms. Hargrave. Hey, a Sherpa can dream. Anywho, according to the publisher, in 1958, Dmitry Belyayev and Ludmila Trut started an experiment on domestication. From a large group of foxes, they selected the ones that reacted to humans with more curiosity and less aggression. In each generation, they selected only the friendliest pups to become the parents, hoping to recreate the process that originally led to domestication thousands of years ago. The experiment made for stunning progress. Even though the foxes were chosen only for their friendliness, they soon started to get many of the physical traits that we associate with domestic animals, like spots, floppy ears, and curly tails. As communication opened up, the foxes made major contributions to our understanding of how these traits are expressed. The experiment continues to this day. In the Fox Experiment, you'll breed your own domesticated foxes. In each round, you'll select a pair of fox parents who have certain traits. You'll gain those specific trait dice, roll them, and try to move them around to make complete trait symbols, which you'll then mark on your pup card. At the end of the round, the previous generation of foxes will be cleared, and the new pups will be moved to the kennel, thus becoming candidates to be chosen as parents in the next round. The game ends after 5 rounds, and you'll gain points for pleasing patrons. The player with the most points wins. Number 9, After Us. After Us is another Pandasaurus game designed by Florian Syriax. These names don't get easier. It is tentatively supposed to come out on August 9th. As a huge fan of the Planet of the Apes series and cosplayer of the series, yes, that's me, I'm looking forward to this one as well. I hope it's good. According to the publisher, 2083. Humankind died out decades ago, leaving behind mere vestiges of its time on Earth. As time went by, nature reclaimed the land all over. In this resurgent world, apes have kept evolving. They've been gathering in tribes, growing, mastering human items, and advancing in their quest for knowledge. As the leader of such a tribe, you need to guide it towards the collective intelligence. After Us is a deck building and resource management game featuring an original and intuitive combo system in which players are each leading a tribe of apes. Starting only with tamarins, they combine their tards with each turn to collect resources and gather victory points, attracting new apes into their tribe along the way. Powerful gorillas, resourceful orangutans, versatile chimpanzee, and wise mandrills. The first player to obtain 80 points prevails in a race to collective intelligence and wins the game. And finally, my last entry for this volume of the top 10 games to see at GenCon 2023. Number 10, Sea Salt and Paper. Sea Salt and Paper is a game by Bruno Cathala and Theo Rivera that tentatively comes out in September 2023, according to BoardGameGeek.com. During your turn, you assemble your hand and maybe place cards for the effect and decide if you want to end the round. But do you think you're the one with the most points in hand? You will have to choose, stop the round immediately or give others an extra turn to try to extend the gap. Is it worth taking the risk? The game ends when you reach 30, 35, or 40 points, depending on if you have 4, 3, or 2 players. So that's the BoardGame Sherpa's top 10 games you need to see at GenCon 2023. If you guys like this one, I'll make a volume 2 of the next 10 games for my next episode, since GenCon is only a few weeks away. Hey, I already have the research done, so I'm halfway there already. So if you like this video, make sure to subscribe and give a big thumbs up on it. Sharing wouldn't hurt either. It'll really help me out and can help bring more new people into the hobby, which will help you when you're trying to find people to play your favorite games with. Deal? See you next episode.